Hey guys, SPAC Guy Doug here today, and I want to talk about an EV company that's not a SPAC, but I think it's garnered so much interest in the SPAC industry, and I think this is such a hot area because of Tesla's stock hitting new prices, Shell being a SPAC stock, Nikola, that it warrants discussion. And I want to talk about NIO, and I never even heard about this company until recently because it's so little. But I'm reading in the forums and Facebook and all these different places, and people are like, "It's the next Tesla. It's going to be great." No, that's not true at all. And I'm going to go through the reasons really why. But really to make this a better experience for myself and yourself, please subscribe to my channel. I need to hit to 1,000 likes or 1,000 subscribers actually, in order to get monetized. And I'm going to make this a better experience for you guys and myself here, where we can get some great graphics and really do a much better job on these videos. But let's talk about NIO. So they're a Chinese company, only sell in the Chinese market. Probably never going to sell anytime, I guess, in the short to medium to long-term future in any other countries. But NIO stands for Blue Sky Coming. Their mission is to shape a joyful lifestyle by offering premium smart electric vehicles and being the best user experience. So what they offer is basically what Tesla does. Battery car, they have some artificial intelligence and other technologies in the company. Nowhere near Tesla. I mean, not even comparable, and I'll get into those reasons. They are a cash poor company. They don't have the funding, they don't have the money, they don't have anything. And just like most Chinese companies, what they are is just a copycat of Tesla. They do have first market mover access in China, so they are the first big EV company. Tesla has been importing into the country. People in China and I guess in the big cities know what Tesla is and what is coming when they build their Shanghai factory. The stock of NIO, and that's why we're talking about this, has exploded, and it's their sales. So in June of this year, their sales increased 179% since a year ago. Their best month ever, 3,700 cars. That makes them 10,331 for the whole quarter, up 191%. Great numbers, but if you compare that to the Toyota Camry and other vehicles like a Model S, Model 3 in the U.S. market, it's peanuts. So the stock is, so 75% of the equity of the company is actually sold in the U.S. Stock. The other 25% is held by other entities. They were almost bankrupt very, very recently. They spent all their money in distribution and building dealership networks. Probably probably part of the reason why their sales went up a little bit. But they ran out of cash and they had to go to the Chinese government. And the Chinese government basically said, "Hey, we will give you $1 billion, but we want you to move your corporate headquarters, and we want you to move some manufacturing around." And when you're dealing with China, it's not like dealing with the U.S. government or any other first world government. You're dealing with people are working on their own interests. So it doesn't seem like it was a great move. I guess when I was reading the 20K filing, I guess it doesn't seem like people are happy with it, and I don't blame them. What Wall Street analysts are saying, so there's going to be a little bit of change after those numbers, but basically all of Wall Street is saying hold, don't buy, or I guess hold or maybe buy, but don't do anything. The ratings and the price targets reflect consensus view of retraction is likely. There was only one analyst who put it as a buy. It was a Goldman Sachs analyst, and he raised the price to a buy at $6.40 prior to this occurring, which it seems like he was right for this. The rest of the market says hold. It's now, I think, what, $13, $14. Now let's go into the company a little bit, and I don't want to talk about the cars, but I'm gonna, just for reference, they have like 4 or 5 cars. They have a car called the EP9, which is a supercar. It's not there to make any money. It's just there to generate interest in the company. The bread and butter is a car called the ES8. It was really their first production car. It's basically an SUV, 7 seaters. It gets 355 kilometers to 500 kilometers range. And they had so many issues with this car. So this car has been out for 2 years that they basically, in their 20K, they said, "Hey, we have a new car out." And it's the same car because they had so many issues. They basically had to change 180 parts in the car to fix these issues. And they had a massive recall on this vehicle. They had to recall 5,000 vehicles, and I think their sales in the very beginning were very small. So basically, all their cars to replace the battery packs, and it cost the company $60 million to do that. And they were not doing the right accounting for this to even accrue for it. So it ate up so much of their cash, but they needed to do this in order to have a quality brand in China. And that gets into my next point. They're basically saying they're 20K. Hey, our accounting is horrible. They're not U.S. GAAP compliant. They're not compliant to SOX and 404. They're publicly traded on the U.S. market, and this is a requirement. And they're using public auditors from China. And they basically say, hey, we have really weak internal controls. So basically what you can take from this is all their financials, garbage. Small company, lots of risk to look good. And they're saying, hey, our numbers are really bad. And they were not doing correct accounting. Their accruals are off. And they really need to fix that up because they also have a risk of being delisted next year if they do not. And this is not any small task. This is a huge task. U.S. public accounting firms, if they get involved, they're going to charge them an arm and a leg to do this. So much money needs to be involved, but it has to be done. So there's a risk of being delisted. Like I said, they had a big recall on their cars. They weren't, I guess, requesting this. And the Chinese government put the $1 billion in, which not good. So what they say in their 20K filing, the risk for the business, ability to secure necessary funding. Yes, they are going for funding. They're going to get more funding in the future, probably from the Chinese government, not from investors, independent investors. The equipment that they use is not to manufacture it, is not to specified design tolerances. They're not General Motors, they're not Ford, they're not Honda, Toyota. Brand new company, they're manufacturing, they're admitting, hey, our manufacturing is horrible. Being a brand new company, yes, it's a big issue to get manufacturing ready. Compliance with environmental regulations, okay, it's an issue. But now that the Chinese government's involved, they'll probably look the other way. Securing necessary components timely, supply chain, big issue, and I think that was an issue with the car in the past. There's a lot of single source suppliers. Getting components to the car, even one component to the car, if they're not able to find, a second source. So if it's single source, they're gonna have delays in manufacturing, and that's a huge risk, especially if you're dealing with if you're dealing with small suppliers. And they also say ability to attract, recruit, hire, and train skilled employees. I don't really consider that a risk. It's China. There's tons of people that manufacture out there. Supply chain, huge risk, like they were saying. So what they also say is our growth depends significantly on the availability and amounts of government subsidies, economic incentives, and government policies. Yes, huge. So they're a premium brand company. They're competing exactly with Tesla. Tesla is a much better company than they are. They're basically just like I don't even know how to explain it, but it's like the KC Cola, probably even a lower brand of that than to Coke. Comparing Tesla. They're also saying that in China, the Chinese government, President Xi, lowered the tariff taxes on all import vehicles, except for the USA, of course, across the board by 15%. So now they have to compete, especially with electric vehicles. I think Porsche and BMW are coming out, and Mercedes have electric vehicles. And what they say is they have a huge issue with charging solutions. Like they basically said in their 20K, hey, we are able to bring charging solutions to your house. We're working with some subcontractors to get that work done, but we have no idea what to do in the rest of the country. And you have to think a lot of people a lot of people in China that have money live in these cities, and they're relying on the Chinese government to actually install these units all around. They say that they have 258,000 units installed, but the company says itself, hey, we have no plan how to even handle all these charging stations. So getting a NIO charger might be a little bit of an issue in China, which could hurt sales. And they're also, of course, the Tesla joint venture they're bringing up. Tesla's opening their Shanghai manufacturing. They're manufacturing in Shanghai very soon for the Chinese market. And of course, people in China know Tesla, and it's going to dominate the EV market. But that could actually boost up sales for this company. People want maybe a cheaper version of the car and don't really know anything about cars. And they say straight out, competitive advantage. Tesla has the money, the resources, better manufacturing, marketing technologies. Tesla's the best company in this area. Like I said, this company can't even compete. There's so many risks here. They consider themselves first in the market, but will lose market share to Tesla and foreign companies. They also say technology is rapidly evolving, and they're not able to keep up. Obviously, they do not have the money for R&D. They need to go out and get more money and more money. They basically have $1 billion. Tesla's Elon Musk can Elon Musk is worth so much more than this. They're not able to keep up. So, as Tesla comes out with new products, they're probably going to stall a little bit. They're also saying not able to control the cost within the operation. Okay, disruption from supply chain material, single source components. What I also said, warranty claim reserves. So basically, what I was saying, they had a warranty claim of $60 million to replace the batteries of all their cars. They said they do not have the money for future warranty claims, and all their cars have warranties, so there's going to be a future issue here. They will have to issue more debt, which will adversely affect shareholders. So as they issue more debt, your stock price is going to go down. I said they have weak internal controls. They say they have issues with accounting and issues with depreciation. They just say, hey, we have issues here. And of course, you're dealing with the Chinese government. And I looked at who these investors were besides the Chinese government, but in the U.S. stock market, by far the largest investor is a company called Ballygifford. They have a 12% stake. They're a Scottish company. They invest in pre-IPOs. My take is, I'm not here to tell you not to buy the stock, but I'm here to tell you what the risks are. And when you're dealing with Chinese companies, you have specific risks. I personally do not like Chinese companies. The stock prices through the roof. This company could go out of business. It's a big risk. But please subscribe to this channel if you want more of these. I'm probably do a part 2. I looked at their 20K filing had 960 pages. I was able to look at the first 60, and that's what I'm presenting to you. Just the facts straight off their word of mouth off the 20K. So I'll probably do a part 2 on this. Quickly put this together. But if you like this information, you want better videos, subscribe. All right, see you guys next time.